The sound came like thunder inside the busy mall. PH. Everyone turned. Bags dropped. Children stopped eating ice cream. Even the music from the big speakers seemed to pause. Anna stood still, her hand on her cheek, her eyes wide. Her lips trembled. She could not believe what had just happened. Her husband, Mike, the rich and famous CEO everyone in Lagos respected, had just slapped her in front of hundreds of people. "Mike," she whispered, her voice shaking. "You hit me?" Mike's face was red with anger. His chest moved fast up and down. "You should learn to keep quiet, Anna," he said. "Don't you ever shout at me in public again." But Anna had not shouted. She had only asked a question. A simple question. A question that had opened the gates of trouble. It had begun like any normal Saturday. The sun was bright over Lekki Mall. Cars moved slowly, music played from shops, and perfume filled the air. Anna had dressed nicely in a long yellow gown. She was 7 months pregnant, her belly round and beautiful. She smiled as she walked beside Mike, holding his hand. People turned to look at them. Everyone knew the famous CEO of Harris Group. He was rich, handsome, and always appeared in newspapers. "Sir, good afternoon," one shop manager said with a bow. Mike smiled proudly. He liked when people respected him. "Good afternoon," he said, squeezing Anna's hand. "Let's just buy what we need quickly." Anna nodded softly. "Yes, dear." She had come to buy baby things, small shoes, tiny clothes, a soft blanket. She was happy because Mike had agreed to come with her for the first time in months. She believed maybe their love was growing again. But love was not what brought him there. As they entered the baby shop, a woman's voice came from behind. "Mike?" Anna turned. Standing there was a tall lady in a red dress that shone under the mall lights. Her heels clicked loudly as she walked closer. She smelled of expensive perfume and carried a small red bag. Her name was Sade. Anna had seen her picture before, on Mike's phone, one night when he forgot to lock it. She had not said anything then. She had only cried quietly. Now the picture was standing before her, real, bold, and smiling at her husband. "Mike, you didn't tell me you were coming here," Sade said, her eyes shining. Mike froze. "Sade," he said quickly, his voice low. "What are you doing here?" Anna felt her heart beat faster. "Mike," she whispered. "Who is she?" Sade laughed softly. "I am someone your husband knows very well." People in the shop began to look. A worker whispered to another, "That's his wife, and that's the woman he's always seen with." Anna took a step back. "Mike, what is she saying?" "Keep quiet, Anna," Mike said harshly. "You're embarrassing me." "I'm embarrassing you," Anna said, tears forming. "In front of your girlfriend? Don't call her that," Mike shouted. Then his hand rose, fast, angry, sharp. "PH." The slap landed. Gasps filled the air. "Ha!" One woman cried. "He slapped her." "Jesus!" another shouted. "She's pregnant, oh!" "Mike, stop!" someone yelled. A man wearing a mall guard uniform rushed forward from near the glass doors. He was tall and strong, his eyes hard but calm. It was Dada. He had been watching from the beginning, following Mike secretly for weeks. But no one knew who he truly was. To everyone, he was just the old mall guard who liked to stand quietly near the fountain. "Sir," Dada said firmly, "you can't hit your wife here." Mike turned sharply. "Who do you think you are? Stay out of this." "I said stop, sir," Dada replied, stepping closer. "She's carrying a child." Mike's anger rose even higher. "Do your job and move away before I call your boss." "I am doing my job," Dada said, his voice heavy. "My job is to protect the weak." People began recording with their phones. Some whispered, some cried. A few workers tried to calm Anna, who was now crying and holding her stomach. Inside Dada's chest, something burned. Every time he looked at Anna's tearful face, his heart broke. He wanted to scream, to grab Mike by the neck, to tell the whole world that Anna was his daughter, his only child. But he held it in. He remembered his promise to her mother before she died. Let her choose her life. Don't control her marriage. Let her learn by herself. So Dada had stayed silent when Anna married the rich CEO. He had smiled when she moved into a mansion. He had clapped when the newspapers called Mike the young business lion. But deep inside, he knew something was wrong. The smiles never reached Anna's eyes. That was why he had come to Lagos secretly, dressed in an old guard uniform, watching from the shadows. And now, the man who had promised to love his daughter had slapped her, and she was carrying his grandchild. "Mike, please," Anna cried. "Stop shouting. People are looking." "Then stop embarrassing me," Mike shouted back. His voice echoed through the hall. Shoppers had formed a circle now. Even Sade began to feel uncomfortable. "Mike, maybe we should go," Sade said quietly. "Shut up, Sade," Mike barked. Then Anna suddenly gasped. Her face turned pale. She held her belly and bent down slowly. "My baby," she whispered. "It hurts. Somebody help," a woman shouted. Dada ran forward, his voice deep and strong. "Clear the way." He lifted Anna carefully into his arms like a child. "It's okay, my daughter," he whispered softly so no one would hear. She looked up at him weakly. For a second, she saw something familiar in his eyes. But she was too weak to speak. "Ambulance! Call ambulance!" people shouted. Sade stood aside, shaking. Mike just stared, his face pale, his anger now replaced by fear. The mall's small clinic team arrived with a stretcher. Dada followed closely, refusing to let anyone else carry her. Mike tried to follow, but Dada turned sharply. "Stay back, sir," he said. "You've done enough." Mike's lips moved, but no words came out. As the doors of the small ambulance closed, Dada looked at him one last time, eyes full of controlled fury. Then he climbed inside beside Anna as the siren began to wail. The ambulance drove off fast, lights flashing red and white. Later that evening, the mall was quiet. People still talked about what happened. Videos were already spreading online. At the small hospital nearby, Anna lay on a bed, eyes closed, breathing softly. The doctor said the baby was still safe, but she needed rest. Dada sat beside her, still in his guard uniform. His hands were folded, his eyes red from tears he had been holding in. He looked at her and whispered, "You are safe now, my child." He reached into his pocket and pulled out his phone. On the screen was a contact name, Boma, private assistant. He typed slowly. "Get everything ready. The boy's name is Mike. Time to teach him a lesson." He pressed send, then looked at Anna again. He smiled sadly. "You married a man with gold on his watch but dust in his heart," he whispered. "Now I will show him what real power looks like." He stood, walked to the window, and looked out at the city lights of Lagos, the city where his daughter's tears had fallen. Then softly he said, "Tomorrow, the game begins." The morning after the slap, Lagos felt heavy. Rain had fallen all night. The streets of Lekki were wet, the air cold and gray. Inside a small private hospital, Anna opened her eyes slowly. For a moment, she did not remember where she was. The smell of medicine filled the room. Machines beeped softly. Then the memories came back, the mall, the crowd, Mike's hand, and the pain. Tears rolled down her cheeks. A man's calm voice came from the chair beside her. "Don't cry, my child." She turned her head weakly. It was Dada, still wearing his security uniform. His face looked tired but kind. "You," she said softly. You helped me yesterday. He nodded. Yes. How are you feeling? Anna sighed. My baby is safe, the doctor said. She paused. Thank you? You don't need to thank me, Dada said quietly. You did not deserve what happened. Anna looked away. Maybe it was my fault. Maybe I spoke too much. Dada shook his head. No woman deserves a slap. Especially not one who carries life inside her. His words were calm, but deep inside, his heart burned with anger. At that same time, the hospital door opened. Mike walked in with 2 bodyguards. He wore dark glasses and a fine black suit. But his face looked tense. Anna, he said coldly. How are you feeling? Anna did not answer. She only stared at him. Mike looked around the room. His eyes stopped on Dada, the guard. You again? He said sharply. What are you doing here? I'm guarding, Dada said softly. I don't need a guard here. Mike barked. Get out. The nurse near the door turned quickly. Sir, please lower your voice. This is a hospital. Dada stood calm as ever. Sir, I'll leave when I know she is safe. Mike's jaw tightened. Do you know who I am?